The Lord's Prayer, it says, give us this day our daily bread. And so I never really thought about it, to be honest with you. Give us this day our daily bread. It's just really something that I always just thought that we said in the Lord's Prayer. It wasn't until give us this day was almost taken away from me. When that sale closed and those bars began to move slowly but surely. And as it closed, it let off almost like an explosion, a boom. And in that moment, give us this day, just begin to ring in and just ring in my head and give us this day. And then I had to look down, and then I looked up, and I looked around, and I realized where I was. I was incarcerated. I was in jail. And now give us this day. It just seemed like eternity. It just seemed like something that was never going to come again. Give us this day our daily bread. To be able to smell the fresh air outside and to be able to see the sunrise on my terms. When I wanted to see the sunrise, not when somebody else let me out to see the sunrise. When I wanted to go get my own food to eat. When was that daily bread going to come? When was that time going to come again for me? And I didn't know. And it was such a difficult place. But again, it was in that place where I really found gratification. And I really found the ability to take responsibility. Because I could blame a lot of people. I could blame my kid's father for not being there, for leaving me while I was pregnant with my last daughter. I could blame my last job for firing me or laying me off, whatever terms they like to use, while I was 6 months pregnant. And it was a lot of things that led up to the mistake. And I could have blamed. Oh, my mother wasn't there. My father was dead. I was single. I grew up in a drug environment. I could have blamed a lot. But when I sat there 10 toes down on that concrete in that cell, I had nobody to blame but me. So you got to stop with the blame game. If blaming was going to put money in your pocket, man, I would tell you ball out. But it don't. All it do is hold you back. Because you're so busy looking for somebody else to save you or somebody else to blame. It's not until you take responsibility for your actions and what you did to get you here. I had to take responsibilities for my actions and what I did that got me there. Even though it was a mistake, it still was the mistake that I made. And guess what? I had to face the music and the consequences for it. I'll never forget sitting in that courtroom right before I was called up. The judge called the girl right before me. The judge went off on this girl. She said, "You feeding me this bullshit?" I was like, oh my God, I'm going to jail for life. She done pissed off the judge. This is what I'm saying in my head. This girl done pissed off the judge because the judge had gave her chance after chance. And she said, "I know bullshit when I see it. You bullshit me, go back to jail and serve out the rest of your sentence in jail." I was like, fudge cake. I got to go after this broad. Oh my goodness. I couldn't believe it. Because the girl kept blaming everybody. Oh, it was because this person didn't pick her up. She had an excuse for everything. Man, that judge threw the rest of that time at that girl, told her, "Get out of my face." Then I go up there. I'm like, look, I take full responsibility for what I did and the actions. And not only, man, I'm so sorry, not only to this court, to my family, but most importantly to myself. For even being here before you. I never dreamed in a day I would be right here before you. Are you kidding me? I've been working all my life. I've been persecuting. I've been always just keep going. When life try to kick me down, I get back up 10 times harder. I never dreamed I'd be standing before you. So I really came to her from the heart. But then on top of that, my actions lined up. My actions lined up with my words, because she said, "I never in 25 years of being on this bench ever seen anybody get as much accomplished in such a short period of time. How did you do it? And in that point, I smiled. I was just like, oh my God, thank you. You know, I didn't expect that. This was just from the same judge that told this lady she was full of shit. And, you know, I was just like, oh my goodness. So yes, once I took responsibility and I said, I got to own up to this and I got to own it. It's mine. I have to own this. I have to fix it the only way I can or the best way I can. I went into action and I never looked back. And this judge had been appointed by Bill Clinton. She had been on the bench 25 years, okay? So this is a reputable federal judge. This is just not like some fly-by-night, okie dokie, no. She was the business. And for her to even just give me such a compliment like that in such a time in my life that looked like the worst time in my life, it just goes to show, to attest that you got to take responsibility for where you are right now in order to get where you want to be. Accept it and move on. Don't beat yourself up. I could have been beating myself. Oh, woe is me. Man, all that pity party got to go. It got to stop. It got to. So I'm just here to give my story one day at a time, y'all. Catch you tomorrow.